let's go back to this idea of being unique, but also recognizing that sometimes you do find a cash cow, right? Not a purple cow, but a cash cow in this sense. When I worked at Universal Pictures, I was on the brand marketing and strategy team in home entertainment, which was responsible for basically movies on demand, DVD and whatnot. At the time, Blockbuster was still a thing, and we also sold movies. And when I was there at the studio, we had this movie that came out called The Fast and the Furious.
Mm-hmm.
Wildly successful Vin Diesel movie, and great cast. And I left, after a few years, and they just kept making that movie, Fast and the Furious 1. I think they've made 8 or 9 of them by now.
Yep.
They're just taking it to the bank. So why is that good or not good? Because I want to stay on this,
Sure.
How to earn what you're worth. They've tapped into something, a franchise, because we used to call it a franchise.
Yeah.
Whether it's a movie with a sequel or, 3 of them. Sometimes they make one too many, but what's the difference in the value? What's the
That's how
difference
you
in
know
value?
you're supposed to stop after you make one too many.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing as a filmmaker too. If you have a hit, it's really easy to make part 2.
Okay.
But how do you know whether or not to make part 2?
A couple things. First, let me explain what the word cash cow means. It comes from the Boston Consulting Group. It's a grid of projects that either spin off cash or grow. And so you've got something called the dog, which is not spinning off cash and it's not growing. You should get rid of that. It shouldn't be in your portfolio. You've got a star, which is something that is spinning off cash and growing. You love those. Then you got the cash cow, which spins off cash but doesn't necessarily grow. That's what sequels do. And as an artist, a creator, as someone who wants to be in culture, it really helps to have a portfolio of at least 3 of the 4 quadrants, because you can use money from one to fund your work on the other. So if we look at a visual artist like Jeff Koons makes millions and millions of dollars making balloon animals. And he takes some of that money to develop the technology to make the next thing. A studio says, we know we're going to make bank making another James Bond movie. We can't make James Bond movies every day, but we can make one this year. And we'll use that money to make 4 other movies, hoping that one of them turns into something that we can build our future on. And if you're an individual, you can do the same thing.
I mean, we were just sitting back, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days and all that. Tracking my roots, where I came from. And